So yeah, SMEs and financing, but particularly SMEs and access to capital market. So this, I think it's the only chart I have here, just highlights the ratio between loans to capital market financing. I was kind of surprised, so these stats come from the Deutsche Sparkasse, and it showed that Germany particularly, German SME depend of the local bank for financing. They only rely on loans. To be put frankly, they go at the local Sparkasse, ask for loans, and that's the only source of financing, which is quite bad. I guess you all personally have more than one bank with whom you're working. So it's a problem. It's even getting worse because as you rely on, as there is a financial dependency on your bank, that gives bank power over SMEs. So it's not only that you don't have different access to financing, it's only that when there is a stress situation, when the economy is going not that good, you have to pay even more or you don't have access at all to financing. So this is very bad, sorry. Given that, yeah, SMEs are not rely on those access to financing. So why are traditional investment banks not interested for SMEs? Just the ticket size is too small. Investment banks, traditional investment bank needs huge volume. They have a lot of additional fees that just sum up, and there is just a mismatch here. Just the SME we're talking about are looking for funding between $500,000 to, let's say, 10 million euro, and that's just not interesting for traditional investment bank because of the cost structure. So we want to address this funding gap, and I will repeat that often because the goal is really that we have to have a clear understanding about what we're doing. We offer SME an easy and efficient access to capital market financing. Now, how do we want to do that? I put the B word. I didn't want to put it in the presentation, but I still put it here. So just going a bit, providing you a bit of history of financial instruments. So we just started 400 years ago with paper-based certificate. So maybe you know the story about the Dutch East India Company was the first share certificate issued. The idea was not to gamble or speculate, but more to hedge. They were funding ships to go in Indonesia, in Asia to get spices and other goods there. It was just very, very risky in the 16th century. And the idea was to pool the risk together and spread the risk across investors. That was the first goal. And can you believe that during decades and century, finance was working on this paper-based certificate? The transfer ownership was very complicated, but ownership at least was direct. Nevertheless, with the world getting more and more, with more financialization, with more trade, it was kind of start being a bit annoying to transfer ownership, to have proof that you're the owner, and so on. So what happened, I think, in the 80s, we switched to what was called already digital security, but you can call it book entry-based security. So we just get rid of the piece of paper and use database. So quite a big improvement, actually. Trading was more efficient, and emission costs, for instance, for SMEs were like, or not SMEs, but companies were like better. Nevertheless, we moved to a very, very indirect ownership. So as of today, if you log in your online banking, you may be an owner of BMW shares or other one, but it's a very, very indirect ownership. You basically have a claim over your bank, that has a claim over a custodian, that has a claim over a sub-custodian, that has a claim over a central depository register, so to say, Euroclear, Clearstream. So what can go wrong, actually? Yeah, almost nothing. But this is a situation today, and with the security risk associated to IT operation and so on, it's kind of a, sorry, again, it's kind of a huge risk. It's not a risk you want to be exposed. So here we come in 2019, or even before, with blockchain-based securities, code-based securities, less error-prone. We come back to direct ownership, and that we reduce the number of intermediaries and also reduce, of course, emission cost. So using blockchain-based security, we believe, okay, this makes financing accessible to anyone, not only large corporates, but also SMEs. This seems like the perfect tool. And those are our estimates. I mean, numbers are probably not the right one, but it just gives a sense. So as I told you, we are targeting company wanted to raise between 1 and, let's say, 10 million euros. And just if you aim to raise 1 million euro and go to an investment bank, they will just say, okay, you can do it, but you will not have any money left. So blockchain-based security allow you to reduce tremendously the cost of financing for such low amount. So the time to market should be faster. And in Germany, it's very interesting because for amount for between 1 and 8 million euro, you can use exemptions so that you don't require to get an approval or prospectus approved by the regulator. You can have a lighter documentation, so that's very much fits very much the financing need of SMEs. An advantage that we have, and I will go on the next slides, about our investors. Oh, sorry, we have like a bunch of investors because we have already a product live with roughly 30 million of assets under management, and 100 of investors that always told us, we like your product, we like stocks, we like bonds, nevertheless, can you bring us something else? And they are themselves entrepreneurs, they were business owners, and they will be very happy to invest in other business owners, in other SMEs that have a track record, that they maybe know locally. So that's a bit the match that we'll do between SMEs and investors. So the problem we want to tackle is providing access to capital market for SMEs. And I will just quickly still make a small break and present our company. So we are very new in the sphere. We are not a blockchain company, or we are coming to the blockchain technology very recently, only since a few months, 6 months. So we are 14 people, typical, let's say, Berlin startup with a lot of nationalities and experience in, mostly software development, project management, and financial services. One of the advantages we want to use is the license we hold. So we have this Kreditwesengesetz Lizenz 32, so German Banking Act, that allows us to do final brokerage and intermediary brokerage and portfolio management. So we also believe that's one of the reasons that we're going into this sphere, because issuing tokens, security token, will be more and more regulated. We know it. Discussions are ongoing, and of course, legislation will at a point define a clear framework, and we believe those type of license will be very helpful for us to make our business case successful. So yes, as I told you, we have 2 target customers. So the SMEs, I explained, and investors. As of today, in Germany, there are more than 1.1 million wealthy investors, meaning people with more than 1 million of financial assets, so which is kind of big. And there is something that is interesting. I didn't put it here, but Germans are very adverse to capital market investment. So only 10% of them have owned shares or ETF or financial products. In France, it's the same, just 20%, so very reluctant to invest. While in the US, it's higher. I think it's 1/3 or 35%. In Estonia, we even have like 50% of capital market product as part of the portfolio of Estonians. This is due to, I don't know, maybe you know the T-Mobile stocks that was a big failure in the 90s, and that explains historically why people are reluctant, because when you're a big company, sell your shares to the whole public and it goes bad, then it's a trauma. Same story in France, same story in many countries. Maybe it explains that. But we also believe that providing the opportunity for investors to invest in local company they may know the do-it-yourself shop they used to shop in during the weekend, and being an owner of a Schuldverschreibung, a debt product or equity in those companies, may link back people with stock investment or investment in the capital market again. So I'm insisting on that. We want to make ideas and capital meet again. We are an investment bank for SMEs. for entrepreneur, investor, and focusing on Germany for the Mittelstand, but of course for SMEs across Europe in the future. And I have to come to the Stellar part, of course. We decided to use Stellar, which we didn't expect at the beginning. We are thinking about using Hyperledger because we thought, okay, we need some private blockchain, public maybe, but thinking about it doesn't make a lot of sense. Then, of course, obvious choice should be Ethereum. But when we tried Stellar, it worked. And I asked my IT team to give me a bit of anecdotes or explanation, but told me like, hey, it just worked fine. So I was just like, maybe this is the best compliment, but it just worked. For us, the learning curve was quite fast. It allows to issue, OCTO issued the Bosco coin, so an alternative to the Boris coin, I hope. And yeah, and on top of that, of course, there is an easier implementation for KYC and AML requirement that allow us to whitelist investors, to identify them, which we thought was easier for us. And the simplicity. I mean, of course, Ethereum is an awesome project, but we are here in the financial industry. For us, the tools that Stellar provides are enough and are targeted to financial use case. So we thought that this is enough for us. We don't have a team of 20 devs to build on various blockchains. So we're really happy with what we learned. And also the ecosystem. Today is the proof. The Stellar ecosystem is really growing. The Bitbond case was also very interesting. I think no one expect to have a BaFin approved STO so early, and there are other cases in the Netherlands. So I think the ecosystem is growing. So and we're happy to contribute to that, and it's great to be here again. And maybe about the product we want to build. So as I said, we want to link at the beginning private business shares, issue them using the Stellar ledger and targeting investors, so high net worth individuals, semi-institutional investors. For institutional investors, of course, the ticket size, the investment ticket is too small, so we are targeting, let's say, smaller investors. Maybe one thing that is maybe particular, at that stage, we are talking to companies, SMEs, that don't know a lot about blockchain. For them, it's a buzzword. They just maybe heard about Bitcoin, which is still connoted negatively. So we decided to use the Stellar ledger for the ownership transfer. Nevertheless, for the payment of interest, because it will be debt product at the beginning, for the payment of interest, we will still rely on the SEPA payment as a first step. As I said, I really believe this is an evolution. Making people move towards blockchain-based security is already a good step, particularly for people that have no knowledge about that. When I'm going back to France and talk to the few business owners I know, they just don't know it. So I think when talking to those people, they will feel way better to have the classic payment of interest they know, and that will bring those new people to blockchain-based products. And in the future, we can imagine using the Stellar blockchain as well for the payment, or offering the settlement or the payment of interest in fiat and as well crypto. But we believe that for the first case, at least, we'll just stick it with the let's say, good old SEPA. We'll see in the future for the next project. So those are roughly the steps that an investor will have to follow to invest in one of your security token offerings. So the first use case, we thought it would be our own STO. Nevertheless, we are currently discussing with 2 or 3 other companies that express interest to use an STO for financing. So the first use case that we plan in August or September, maybe not ours use case, but already one of our customers, so that's very good. But on the investor side, you can see the process here. Which is, let's say, we want to make it as normal as usual, so that people don't have the feeling that they are using a blockchain-based security, that just do an investment. And as Boris said it very well, at the end, we're using internet every day. Not a lot of people know the protocol internet is based on. I think it should be the same for blockchain-based product. So here are our products. We have a robo-advisory services that is live since Q3 last year, with roughly 30 million asset under management, a bit more than 100 customers. And we are building right now these security token services that will also link our existing investors to potential new investment, but hopefully will attract also new type of investors. And in the future, we want to have a matchmaking platform that will allow people or investors and also SMEs to directly find each other and be able to close a deal with or without blockchain-based securities to be defined. But that's a bit the product that we are focusing on at the moment. So again, ideas meet capital. We are an investment bank for SMEs, and we hope that we will help solving this problem and the funding gap that SMEs are currently facing, because it shouldn't be the case. So even if we will not solve it alone, we hope that we are building a stepping stone towards solving this challenge. Thank you very much. Yes, so indeed we are building the platform. We're currently building a dashboard where people will have the possibility to create their own wevest wallet. So this is what we are currently building. I think it may be part of hopefully a future presentation, but we are currently finalizing the details. But we decided to go that way to build our own wallet. I discussed last week with Erasmus from SatoshiPay and the Solar wallet. So we'll see what can be done at that stage, but I guess it will be important that, of course, that we will issue securities that will be tradable. So at a point, trading will probably be part only of our platform, but however, using Stellar DEX or using existing solution to transfer the ownership across user will be very important. So we are building the wallet, the front end, the onboarding, and most of the component actually working with Linden partners like Big Bond. So yeah. Yes, it's you. Sorry. Yes, this is the goal at a point. Yeah. We will not be an exchange, so we will not be an organized exchange. So currently it's discussion ongoing. OTC seems the best solution at the moment. Nevertheless, it's really like a moving field. So regulatory discussions are on the way. Banks are lobbying into not forcing, but they are defending the business, and I hope that even the wallet will require maybe full banking license and the trading as well. So we'll probably work with either SDEX. We are talking with the guy from CoinSquare as well. So let's see what it's not defined clearly at that stage. They are current. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to do it, but they are currently working on the European plan. I think they launched in Europe last year, and then they have other plans that I'm not all aware of, but they have plans for Europe. So on that topic as well. Germany first. We have those exemptions as a non-bank between 1 and 8 million euro, up to 8 million euro, that are very attractive. I know that such exemptions also exist in other European countries, but we didn't focus that much. And our network of investors and SMEs are really in Germany. So at the beginning, definitely in Germany. KWG32, Abschlussvermittlung, Anlagevermittlung, Portfolio, Finanzverwaltung, and the fourth one that I forgot. It will be debt products at the beginning. We'll move towards hybrid product, maybe Genussrechte, but debt product seems right now more easier to implement. It's for the customers at the beginning. I mean, those people you mentioned, blockchain, bit whatever. I mean, they're still very outside of this circle. I believe very much of blockchain itself is a revolution, but it's still steps after steps. So I really believe that bringing them towards the product first, having them, make them feel it's still usual product, and adoption will raise, and then we'll be able to offer another solution. That's what has been the reasoning more for the type of customers we are addressing to.
Final question? Actually, you talked about the customers that you're addressing. You talked about high-net individuals, right? Is that your only target group? Because if you talk about high-net individuals, you don't even need to consider about the public placement and the prospectus requirement, right?
True. Ideally, we still want to go with, again, an approved prospectus or approved VIB, Wertpapierinformationsblatt, but it will also depend on the issuer. I mean, if one SME want, I don't know, only like private or professional investors, that will depend. I mean, we will offer tailored made solution for them. So. Yeah, true, but they can, depending of the time of placement, you can, if it's a private placement, of course, you can offer, you make them invest more than 100K. If it's a more public placement, it will be less, but this will depend of the offering and what our customers wants to have as well as investors. It can be, ideal. We define those people as target customers, but we can also go broader. It's also possible. Bitbond showed it's possible, so we are not excluding people with a lower financial wealth, indeed.
Okay, thank you again, Didier. Okay, as I said, there will be a quick open mic session now. So if you have anything to announce, or a quick shout out to the community, then just come here. Yeah, come over.
Hi everybody. My name is Mikko Alasarla and I'm the founder and CEO of Inbot. We have a token called InToken, which is also on the StellarX exchange. We have 66,000 members in our worldwide community in 183 countries. We help B2B companies grow globally with tokenized incentives for our community to introduce them to clients or share these companies' social media posts. We introduced this social media post service actually only a few weeks ago, and we have only served our first customers right now. So yeah, we are glad to be part of the Stellar ecosystem. We actually built first the Ethereum contract last year, but decided in beginning of August that we will migrate into Stellar ecosystem. We'll be very happy about it. We do have a federated wallet which connects to the Stellar ecosystem, and like the fact that you can use the wallet without any kind of hassle as an end user. So one of the biggest problems we see in the blockchain ecosystems is that the user experience is lacking. It's not as easy as paying with Stripe or something like this. And we like the Stellar for the fact that it allows us to hide all of the complexity from the end users all the way to the end. So yeah, if you want to meet fellow Stellar entrepreneurs, talk to me. Thank you.
Thank you again. What's your name again?
Hey, Gilles is our CTO and also architect of our Stellar ecosystem, if you want to talk.
So what was the name again?
My name.
Yeah.
Mikko.
Mikko. So thank you very much. Anyone else? Of course, come over.
Hi, my name is Greg. I actually have a question. Is anybody aware of any company or service that's trying to circumvent currency controls for like CNY, for instance, in China, using cryptocurrency? No? Nobody. Okay, all right. The internet turns up the same thing this room turns up, so thank you. I'll keep working on it. All right.
Okay. So anyone else? Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Thomas, and I'm co-founder of a new startup based in Stuttgart, which aims to make intra-company payment super fast, easy, and of course transparent. And actually, the good thing is that I have the possibility to present the idea to several companies, but I would need a bit help in terms of development for an MVP that should be a bit better, so that people who have no clue about blockchain understand a bit better how it works. So if someone of you wants to spend 30 hours, so 3 days, would be great. You can keep in touch with me. My name is Thomas, and my email is rocket_billing@yahoo.com with R in capital letter.
So thank you, Thomas. I guess everyone remembers that email address now. Any more comments? Yeah, I just hand over to you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Alex from A-World. We are a startup based in Turin, Italy. We're building A-World, which is the social platform for sustainable lifestyle. What we're trying to do is we're trying to bring people closer to sustainability. So we are working with, we're building this platform which will be an ecosystem that will have users interact with brands that are sustainably involved with at least one of the 17 goals that the United Nations created that are trying to solve by 2030, which are no poverty, gender equality, life below water. So what we're trying to do is in the ecosystem, every user will be able to learn about sustainability, and we will challenge them and give them small tips, which will be as easy as remember to refill your water bottle in the morning before going to work. We'll give tips and challenges, and we will give impact score based on how active the user is. So it's a sustainable impact score, which is, well, I'll go to the other part. I don't want to take too much time. We have users, then we have brands. Brands are actively involved in sustainability. We will list them on the website. We'll create more of a marketplace. Whenever there is a transaction involved between a user and a brand, we'll position ourselves as an affiliate. We will take a percentage from the transaction. We'll convert it to Stellar. Everything is based on the Stellar network. So we're creating a stable coin. Once we create this, once we position ourselves as an affiliate, we'll give back part of the transaction, a percentage to the user that can then be cashed out through us or donated to an organization. The more a user interacts with the app, the more it learns, the more it purchases, the more invite friends to learn on the app, the bigger the impact score that we will be giving to this user. So the plan is to bring sustainability to a lot of people and hope to reach as many users as we can. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right, okay. Thanks to the speakers. We have a quick break again, and then we are up for the last speaker today.